Good evening, everybody. Game Time Brian, otherwise known as the Mailman, coming to you live on Hump Day. It's Hump Day. Welcome, welcome, and looky here. Look who is in the house. My partner in crime. He's back. Primetime Phil. What's up, Primetime?
Yeah, it's about time, right? It's about time that I'm back. I told Brian, this week, I'm like, all right, it's opened up for me, man. My work kind of slows down a little bit. I can focus on these groups where everything was so gathered up. Now it's ready. I'm ready to take back off. I'm ready to get back into the flow of this. Hearing, have my ear to the ground, rolling my eyes about some subjects, because if you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, that is a requirement. You need to roll your eyes at some point. And if it isn't weekly, then you're not a true Cowboy fan. So welcome.
So what's going on, man? First, real quick.
Rhonda.
Yeah, let's get to the, let me just do a quick rundown here. We got Vinny Hagen's in the house, Manna Hawkins' own. Oscar, what's up, Oscar Perini? How are you? Brad Harris, there he is. I'm glad to see Brad. Menudo is good for a hangover. William Tilton. Menudo. Yeah, William, I'm still waiting for JoJo to tell me exactly what it is. I thought it was a boy band. LOL. JoJo, what's up? Hello, good evening. Game time, prime time. But yeah, happy birthday. Everybody who wasn't, you can say it again. You can never get enough, right, JoJo? Wish her a happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Who else we got in the house? Rhonda Lovelace Sparks. Don't forget to check out Rhonda's channel. She's always got something going on, whether it's movie night. Awesome. Who else we got? Devil Dog 71. He was bragging about it was 85 in North Texas, Devil Dog, or was it West Texas? But anyway, I'm a little jelly because it was bad out there today. I see we got Azman in the house. What's up, Azman? We can go for a Guadalajara and I don't know about the Rosie O'Donnell, but we can do with the Brown Water Chaser. David Cowboy is in the house. William Tilton. So, Loyal Cowboy, what's up, my man? Alina, what's up, Alina? Lady Libra. So, listen, Phil, what is your sense of the Dallas Cowboys organization as we sit here? What's today? Today's Hump Day, right? So we got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We got 5 days before legal tampering and 7 days before 7 days before free agent frenzy. East Side's in the house. So
East Side's whatever, man.
Dalton, I don't know. What did Dalton say, East Side? Put it in the comments. What did he say?
He's talking his shit. The guy that blocks everybody on Twitter is talking his shit.
Who's that? Dalton? Dalton Schultz.
Just go and sign your contract. It's almost the exact same contract you would have signed a year earlier. Go ahead and sign it there. That is definitely fine. Trust me, man. There's a lot of us that wanted him to move on. He's a good tight end. I'm not going to doubt that. Is he an overall great tight end? No. I mean, the blocking game could be some effect, but hey, that's not really what his game is. I mean, sometimes when they got Dion back in the 90s, they weren't getting him to come up and tackle running backs. They were getting him for the coverage. So it's okay to get somebody, and I got him specifically for this, as long as you got somebody to compliment him. So
yeah. Well, speaking of Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz signed a 3-year deal worth $36 million, 23.5 guaranteed. Basically, the deal Dallas offered him a couple years ago. So
I would say East Side. I don't know about a zoo. I'd probably put more like a circus. But you're not wrong. You're not very far from being wrong.
Yeah. Listen, East Side. It is what it is, man. This is life being a Cowboy fan. And listen, I don't know how. I don't know why, but I feel like Dallas is going to do some things. Don't get me wrong. They haven't made any room yet, but it only takes a couple moves to get under. So I'm not really worried about it. They have to get under by league rule by the 13th. So it's not like they're not going to do it. I kind of think that the CeeDee Lamb deal gets done before the Dak deal. Your opinion on that, Primetime?
Man, well, I mean, we're looking at future stuff. I mean, they picked up Micah Parsons' 5th-year option. That's like a no-brainer, right? People
Yeah,
try.
we're gonna get to
The
that.
media.
Yep.
Oh, sorry. So I
No.
jumped on it, but the media is going to kind of spin that in the sense of, well, they put him at defensive end
Okay, we'll
instead of
go
a
to there then.
linebacker. Yeah, we're
Disregard
gonna
the
do that.
question, and
Yeah,
we'll
forget
go
it.
right
Forget
to
no, no,
there.
no, because I'm gonna bring it back around. Don't worry, I'm gonna
All right,
circle it
all
back
right,
around.
all
I'm
right,
gonna circle
all
it
right.
back around. So, when you're looking at Micah, and that whole, it's not anything. He's played the most snaps there. When you're looking at CeeDee Lamb, you're looking at Dak Prescott. Those are our main guys. These are the guys to me that you have to sign. I mean, yeah, I get people's whole reaction with Dak Prescott. People don't want him to sign. I mean, in order to him not pay him the $60 million this year, you got to sign him long term. I mean, you're people are debating this whole whether he's a $60 million quarterback. Well, if you don't want him to be, you got to re-sign him.
Right.
And that would bring his number down. And he's not that $60 million. Yeah, he's getting paid, but we're not being charged for it like that. So, if you want to, there's just a lot of that. If you want to move on from Dak, this is what you got to do, man. You got to eat that lump sum. And
It's
if
not
you're
going
a
to
Cowboy
happen,
fans,
though. I don't care
I
what
don't think
they
so
say.
either.
I don't care what they say. I think
But
CD's easy. I think they're going to
yeah,
get CD done. It's really isn't. I got news for you. The Dak Prescott deal is easy too. And real quick, let me grab the chat
But
here.
like when you look at CeeDee Lamb, I mean, he says what he wants to. I mean, he came out on that podcast. He's hitting about 30 mil. He wants to get close to like 30 mil a year.
Yeah, I mean,
he's that next guy in line. I mean, when you look at, I mean, let's swing it back around. Let's tie some bunch of pieces together. I mean, when you look at what our future is, think about how our future would not have been there if we had picked up Jamal Adams. I mean, if you look at Jamal Adams and
talking about a shit show,
train wreck, yeah. I mean, those picks, those exact picks were, and I see this. I don't give me credit. I want to give somebody on Twitter credit, obviously, for coming up with these. But that's a CeeDee Lamb pick. That's a Micah Parsons pick.
Yeah,
those are also Osa Digizua. I mean, those are three future guys that you need to be able to sign on to this team for the future.
There's nothing more telling, right, than the whole. Just think of this, people. I don't know if you heard this, Phil, but like we're going back a few years. But Kansas City, right? They tried to trade up for Paxton Lynch. Okay, they did not get Paxton Lynch. They could not pull off the trade. He ended up going to Denver. By doing so, they ended up drafting a little-known guy named Chris Jones. And then the following year, they drafted a quarterback named Patrick Mahomes. So sometimes it's the deals that you don't do that work out.
Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you knew that Jerry Jones wasn't in charge anymore when Money Manziel wasn't to pick that year, and they ended up with, oh my God, Zach Martin. I can't believe we did that. Yeah, it's been nothing but Hall of Fame ever since.
Yeah, so to me, there's core guys to this team. Those are the guys you need to keep. Yeah. Micah Parsons, you need to keep Dak. You need to keep CD. The running backs, I don't care. We talked about it last year. We didn't want Tony exactly back. We didn't like the fact that he was getting that franchise tag. And I think, at least if anything, Kansas City has proven is that you don't need that $10 million running back in order to make it there. I mean, of course, you need that $50 million or so quarterback, but that's beside the point. But I just think with the running backs and all these other things, I mean, the offensive line, I mean, we've been in agreement. I mean, this is something that as soon as Travis Frederick went out of the lineup, we needed to focus on offensive line. So go ahead back to the chat. Sorry to jump on different subjects, but
no, Asman's, I did not notice that Pink's been getting a lot of exposure lately. I did not. Fill me in. But Rhonda, I come here to get my fix. I'm so behind. Rhonda, that happens when you stream a lot and when you're not streaming the Cowboys. You got to take care of your stream first. You're starting to get more and more people, so that's good. We got to go big. William Tilton, that seems to be where they're going, and we'll get to that.
What, Stephen Jones's ass? Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. Let's go. Let me see here. Devil Dog. Oh, yeah. David Cowboy. He turned down a $12 million. They're talking about Dalton Schultz. He turned down a $12 million per year with Dallas when he settled with $6 million with Texans. Yeah. So
and let's be real. It wasn't
behind.
because it wasn't because I think he thought he was worth more than 12. And that's not why. I want to change the culture. Let's just be real.
Yeah.
Everybody that seems to talk a little shit. It was a guy that used to be very important, and then you weren't important by the time you left. So your whole sourness of the franchise was more of you were a poster child, and then you were a forgotten afterthought afterwards, and you did not like that as you left. You
Yep.
know.
Yeah, well, Oscar says, Brian, we were looking to trade for Reddick and have to give up picks when there are so many linebacker free agents. Yeah, I never understood why we were even in on Reddick. I don't know that I believe it. I guess where there's smoke, there's fire. But what are we doing here? What are we doing? As much as I like Reddick, he's not a run player. He's just a pressure player. He doesn't stop the run. So, no, thank you. That makes no sense. Thank you, Lady Libra. Marcus Blackman, what's going on, my man? How are you?
Marcus Blackman. I haven't seen that name in a while. What's going
Kid
on?
Cowboy, yeah. Sorry, my chat just jumped ahead. Let me slide back a little bit. Sorry. I'm backtracking. If you don't like Dak, you will have to fight me. Yeah, that's right, Brad. I like that, Brad. Thomas Garrett. I went to the gym tonight, man. My arms are sore as hell. I worked to about 5:15, and then
I'm gonna say leg day tomorrow, then, right?
well, I figured walk 10 to 12 miles, and then I went and did about half hour on the treadmill, and then I did about 45 minutes to an hour. I did arm work.
William, if we walked away with nothing but linebackers out of this draft, I'd be a happy man.
Yeah, well, listen, man. Me and Phil, we're gearing up, man. Marcus Blackman, is there an echo? I don't hear an echo. I hope there's not an echo.
Yeah, Oscar's so right. Buffalo's just cutting everybody. They just you're out of here. You're out of here. Pack your bags. You can all get a group discount. Getting the fuck out.
Let me see here. Thank you. Yeah. That's just the way it is, Rhonda. But all right, let's get back on track here. Cowboys put a 5th-year option on Micah, right? And I did a video on it this morning on the way to work. They had 2 choices. I want Phil's opinion on if they did the right thing or the wrong thing regarding. They labeled him a defensive end, okay? Defensive end in a 5th year. He's going to earn $21.3 million if he were to play out, which I don't believe he will. It's all a negotiating ploy. Or if he was labeled a linebacker, it would be $24 million. What's your opinion, dude, on this whole BS?
And to me, where have you played? If you were kicking our field goals,
I knew he would come with this. I knew it.
I'd be paying you as a kicker, not what you came with. It's just like, well, in high school, I used to be a running back, so you should be paid as a running back. Is that what you want? Just like, what are you playing? What do you bring to the table?
Yeah,
he's a pass rusher, man. He does not want to be back there calling out, putting people in position. If he does not want that role, then you don't get that pay. Let's be real.
Yeah, well, he made the mistake by opening his mouth before the season, basically saying, hey, I'm a defensive end. I'm a full-time defensive end. He obviously didn't talk to his agent, because Dan Quinn backed him off and said, whoa. We're not going to have you be a full-time DE. We're going to use you like a Swiss Army knife all over the place. And that's the way it should be. I think in Zimmer's defense, he's going to find himself playing defense more, in my opinion. What's your thoughts on that? He's going to play linebacker more in Zimmer's.
I could totally see. Like with Zimmer, I get excited. I get weirdly enough, I get excited about even Mozzie Smith getting bigger, not losing weight. We needed him to get bigger, and with Zimmer, that's what he's going to turn around and do. So, what does Micah do well? He gets sideline to sideline. He gets from one side to the other side. You could put him at corner, and he's going to make a play on the other side. So, to me, you're putting him in a position in the middle to be able to kind of Zach Thomas that thing where if the ball's going to the side, he can get to the side. There's no longer, we're scheming this against him. I love him in space. Let's just be real.
Yeah, me too. I like, like I said before, how Zimmer
what's up?
Zimmer likes to play his defense. He likes his ends to be a little bit wider, not quite a wide 9. He likes his defensive tackles, 2 big boys in the middle. That brings up my next point. But yeah, like 2 big boys in the middle, and then he likes to line up his linebackers in either A gap. So, and then he could do whatever he wants from there. He could drop them both back, send one, You know, there's a lot of, and that's a good way to create pressure. I know me in prime time, have always talked about, instead of trying to come wide on the edge, yeah, you can get home sometimes and disguise, but, you know, you got to get past that left tackle. And if the quarterback picks it up, you could be toast against a good quarterback. But the A gap, you don't have a lot of time. If you could pressure the A gap, especially with a guy as athletic as Micah, and now we're going to get DeMarvion Overshown back, I'm excited about that. So, but I think, and I want to hear Phil's ultimate, do you believe, like I do, that it's just a negotiating ploy by the Cowboys to label him a defensive end? They're going to say, well, you said that's where you want to play. Your snaps have indicated that you're 90%, 95% defensive end, knowing that the salary scale in their mind, it's just a negotiating start off. Do you believe that, or do you believe, no, that's just what they think?
No, I don't think that's what they think. I think, if anything, I mean, it's like the Cowboys. They want to be able to save some money to be able to sign something else. I mean, that difference of $3 million, that's a rotational player that you could be bringing in later. That's like 2 draft picks maybe, like depending on where you're drafting. So it's like, to me, it's smart. You know, now that doesn't mean you don't offend somebody, because let's be real. Anytime we're talking about money with the Cowboys, they're offending somebody. So, I mean, I think you made a very valid point, and I got to give you credit for this. You know, they spend the money. They end up spending the money. It's not like we're sitting there going, well, they got $60 in salary cap, and they can just spend it. No, man, they spent the money. Maybe it's not the wisest how they've done it at times, you know?
Exactly. Yep.
You know, and I think that's where they're being a little bit too cautious. It's kind of like a teenager getting out of the Disney clutches, you know. Now they're doing the extreme, you know, just like they've been burnt too many times, and now they're just like, oh, you know, now we're good over here. And to me, I mean, Jerry's got to stop talking. That dude just got to stop talking. He's countering himself.
He's ridiculous,
you know?
Man. He's ridiculous. Marcus Blackman, the Buffalo Bills released their starting center, Mitch Morris. He could help and be a significant upgrade for America's team. Your thoughts? Marcus, Buffalo is releasing players at an alarming rate. This is what happens when you kind of go all in.
Denver had as well, too, right?
Yeah. I mean, just looking right now, the Bills, they just released White, Jordan Poyer, Morse. They're restructured Von Miller. They're releasing people all over the place. You know, I would say this is why, Marcus, that we need to, and I believe they will, people, we need to address our holes, you know, because you don't want to go into the draft, Phil, and have a glaring need, because then you end up reaching 10 picks higher than you probably should on a player instead of sticking to your board. That's how we got CD Lamb. We went out, we filled our holes, and lo and behold, CD drops in our lap, and we sucked him up, and we're taking it all the way to the bank.
All that sounded so nasty.
Yeah. Pause. But anyway, your thoughts on the Buffalo Bills? I mean, doesn't this play into our hands why we got to pick up? You know, I'll let you go ahead and comment on that, Phil.
Man, I'm a little bit surprised by some of these ones. Denver a little bit, you know.
It's going nuts, man.
You know, they're just, you know, just the releasing part of it. I don't know what their plan is in the sense of they got a bigger, we're trying to go for this big fish or you know, and how Buffalo is. But I mean, do you think it's not a rebuild, right? I'm sorry to kind of stumble on my thing, but it's not a rebuild. It's kind of like a small little rebuild by Buffalo, but it's key guys. I mean, Poyer, I mean the safety, right? I think he's being released as well too. So I mean
that's what I mean. There's a lot. We could fill a lot of positions. We need our general manager to do his job. You get in the lab and you get under the cap, which is easy to do. You know, I think my opinion, I think what they're going to do is, flip switches as needed. Okay. Like, where are we at? This guy fits the bill. If we could, and they're going to negotiate with these free agents, And if they can come up with a deal, they'll flip a switch, get him in. That's kind of how I think they're going to do it. They're just not going to flip switches because with all this new money that's in the NFL, a lot of teams have money to spend. And maybe now you would think, Phil, well, I think I can get this guy, that guy, and this guy. But their number may be way higher than what they think just based on the amount of money that's out there, right?
Yeah, no. Yeah, I mean, there's guys that are hitting the market that I'm excited to kind of just, I'm excited to see them play their career somewhere else. I mean, I'm sorry, I know he's older, but Khalil Mack, for example, that's a guy where I just feel like the team that he's been with have really captured him and just kept him hostage, and he hasn't really been able to really play for a true contender. You're going to tell me a guy like that doesn't make a difference on your team? I mean, yes, that would make, that's a linebacker, and yes, he's the older one, the steps or whatever that. Right now, it's not about, oh, well, people are going to point out, oh, so-and-so's lost a step. He was doing this and this year. Is he better than what we've had? We didn't have shit. We had one linebacker that was injured.
Yeah. Yep.
we had little guys running around like it. We need linebackers, and so to me, either the draft or something, I should be seeing like 4 or 5 new linebackers by the beginning of training camp. Whether you got them in draft picks, whether you got them in
I just don't want to
agency, whatever.
Yeah, I just don't want to have to rely. I know he's going to be there and he's doing great, but I don't want to have to rely on Overshown. That's been our problem. Oh my God, he has to come in day one and be that guy, and he don't even have an NFL snap.
I just want him to do what he was doing. That's
he needs to grow and get some confidence and all that.
Yeah, that first year. You know how that first year is going to be. I mean, Tony Pollard, for example. I mean, we talked about it. It does not matter who he plays for next year. He's going to have a better year than he had this year, and it's because a lot of the injury. So whether he's playing for the Cowboys, whether he's playing for another team, he's going to have a better year.
Mark bought an extra tape measure with him on the plane to Los Angeles. Man, Mark, he's out on Pink's. I told you that, man. And yes, Pink's is a hot dog place. If it was a strip joint, maybe Mark would maybe he would make a run at it. He's weird like that. Elena Walker, how are you, Elena? What's going on? Matt Batten, what's going on? That's Primetime Phil and Gametime Brian. You know that, Matt.
The Time Brothers, yeah.
He's like, Primetime Brian. You sound like Mark Humps. Daytime. What's up?
Are you the old person where you just get
I'm just breaking Mark Stones because I don't see him in the chat. Oscar Perini. This is the time to go all in because talent we might lose compared to talent available in free agency can upgrade at every position. Oscar, my man. You know my opinion on this. They need to just fill 3 holes in free agency. It doesn't have to be the best guy at each position. It's very easy fix. Phil, what do you think, man? You think this is the time to go all in?
I want a roster. I mean, I want a roster. Who's leaving? Like when you look at the numbers of who's leaving, those guys can easily be replaced.
Yeah.
Let's be real. I mean, there's 1 or 2, maybe 3. Hankins, we want to bring back. Maybe an Armstrong if we can get Armstrong. But Armstrong going and getting bigger money, that's okay. We understand that. We're going to get a draft pick to
Yeah, unfortunately, it'll be next year, but we will get a draft pick.
But then when you look at some of these other guys like Gilmore, I would love to have a guy like that. That's just a luxury for me. Whether you're bringing that expertise for your young guys to come into, but you don't need him back.
Yeah.
You can replace a guy like that. Not to say again, you're replacing his years of expertise, but you got Bland, you got Diggs finally coming back. Yes, will Diggs be back 100%? Well, no, you can't expect that. Again, what we were just talking about, Overshown, Tony Pollard, you got to expect some kind of decline before there's an incline. So it's just, that's an unfortunate thing, but you got some guys in the wing that we're waiting for. I mean, Brian's brought him up many times. Eric Scott, what's going on there? We gave up a future pick to get that guy a little bit early.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested to see once he had a whole year under Al Harris, how has he developed,
Yeah, I mean, last year's draft is horrendous, people. What's up, Richard Royster? Yes. How you doing, my man? I'm getting to the chat, everybody.
That's a big development draft,
and Randy Stites was there, and he was pissed off when we drafted Mozzie, and I didn't like the pick.
I want the offensive lineman. And it wasn't the guy they were talking about either.
I'm a Cowboy fan. I mean, I want to think, it's like one of those deals where I always hope that my government is, that they have eyes everywhere and they're protecting us and they're smart. I always feel like the team is smarter than I am, but
let me jump on this thing. Like Dave Thompson, you were right. He goes, I would like to see Sam Williams turn into a difference maker at defensive end. And that's the reason why when Armstrong walked away, Armstrong had 8 sacks. Somebody's got to replace that. A guy like Sam Williams, that's a great one that you're explaining. Yeah, that could be picking up. That's why you're not going to miss him.
It's a sink or swim. He needs the reps. He's not going to get better. That's why we talk about guys like Eric Scott. You got that Junior Fehoko, right? That we had to go out and get. I love the pick. But he never even saw the field. That's not good, people. So
no, that's not.
I mean, that's bad. But again,
I think it may have been just because they wanted the strategy. We don't put any film out on him. Nobody's going to pick him up. Nobody's going to pick him up as we dangle him out there like a carrot. So it's, it's interesting to see where they go with a lot of these guys. But, again, man, it was a development type of pick, and a lot of them were. I mean, you got Luke Schoonmaker, and it wasn't going to be for the starting position. I mean, he's got potential, but,
what's up, man?
There was only like little flashes. So, yeah. Sam Williams definitely be able to get more reps.
Absolutely, and he needs to. We need to find out if he's that guy or if he's going to if he's always going to be the guy jumping off sides or doing something stupid.
My question is, when you look at his past year or so, you don't really look at a lot of the production. I mean, he did have some block runs. He did have some stuff this year where he stepped up, but there was a lot more headaches than there were productions. So you're hoping that, if you give him more playing time, you'll kind of forget about some of those headaches, because that stuff is just, he needs to mature a little bit in there. Dangle him, yeah.
Brad Harris, shout out to Brad Harris for the super chat. Thank you, Brad. Listen, man, you're too kind. I wasn't going to type this in the chat, but mental health is a serious issue. With that said, Brian, watching your live streams every day really helps me. You put out great content, brother. Also, you and Phil are on an amazing team and work great together. Thank you, Brad. Man. We just got to get Phil out of the office more, but he's doing great things at his job, so it's kind of hard for me to be a pain in the ass. So, I always support Phil. I met Phil a couple of years ago, Brad, and I don't know, there was something about him. I just felt like we hit it off. I kind of feel like I got him going a little bit, and and he did, in return, he got me going. Mark would always say, "Oh, you should do it," but it's easy, and Phil knows it's easy to say you should do it, but when you're by yourself, and I think it helped both of us. Let's put it, and then him and Mark were like, you need to do your own thing.
If you watch my first video compared to, it's like, oh man, what a bad.
Thank you so much, Brad. I'm going to get them shirts together soon, buddy. I was working on a Teespring shop, but I do got to go just run off some shirts. But again, I'm not the best when it comes to this high tech crap, and I don't want to screw it up, so I may go in person and have some done. But Brad, you will get the first shirt. I got your address. I'll send you one, buddy. Thank you so much, Brad. I appreciate you. All right, let's get back to the chat. Matt Batten. We must stop the run and run the ball to be a championship team. Everybody and their mother knows that. But Matt, this is the deal. This is why I wouldn't even be opposed to if we went out and got a center from Buffalo. I'm not saying who. I'm telling my front office to identify and go out. If you go get me, hey, Phil, if you go get me a tackle or a guard, right, in free agency, let's just say there's somebody out there that they really like and they get them. Well, then now you could stick to your board in the first round. If that means that an offensive tackle or a guard or a center is the highest rated guy, then still take him. But if he's not and a Keon Coleman drops, or if they really like another player, then we need to do that, people. Don't get caught up in the name. Last year totally screwed us up, totally set us back 2 years. 3 years, and in my opinion, by how bad that draft was. But don't you think, Phil, that if there's a center out there not named Tyler Biotish, that if our front office thinks that he can come in and start, then go get him, right?
Yeah, I'm not against that. I think there's so many benefits. I mean, you don't know what
Hamid?
you're going to do in the draft. You don't know if a center from Oregon is possibly going to drop to you that you could possibly pick them up. But what happens? If you have two centers all of a sudden. Well, you can move them to guard and put Tyler Smith over to tackle, and then you don't have to worry about that Tyron Smith problem that all of a sudden everybody seems to have. To me, it reminds me of the graduation song. I don't know, like you got like there's a lot of Cowboy Nation where we're huffing and puffing for the past 3 to 4 years about how inconsistent that just not being available for Tyron Smith. And yes, the Cowboys finally got a handle on what kind of a schedule we can get him on so he'll stay healthy throughout the season. But I mean, they had to come up with that,
Yeah.
All of a sudden everybody kind of forgets about all the things. It's like that breakup. Like all you're thinking about is the good times. It's like you need to boys to mend that shit to the side and remember all those bad things. We had a Chad Green, remember that shit?
Oh yeah, Chaz Green. Yes.
So remember all the stuff when he wasn't here. That's what you need to look at. Think about he was out at the bar with his friends and he was never around.
I got nightmares on Chaz.
Like So just remember that part. As much as I love Tyron, I'd love to have him back, but I'm not going to bust $15 to $17 million to try to have him back at a we won't go to practice with you.
Yeah,
so,
right.
No, I don't want any of that. And I love Tyron. He was here since he was 20 years old. The guy was young.
I was surprised about everybody's butthurt over it. You got to get over it, man. You got to get over it. I still don't think he's necessarily gone.
No, not necessarily.
But listen, man, it's time to move on. Again, we need to be able to move on. I'm telling you, between his back injury, between his spinal injury, Mike Tyson's spinal injury, Here it is.
I broke my back.
What do you mean? I like that announcer.
My back is broken.
What do you mean by that?
Vertebrae or what portion?
Spinal.
I mean, he's got that. He's got the shoulder.
Bust out laughing.
Yeah.
If you're the dude, but I guess it's just in case you think you might get punched by this guy.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time before Tyron goes out for the whole year, Phil. Okay, you watch. He's going to get signed by New England.
Richard, I heard that, man. Richard says he was a progress shopper. That's the only thing he blocked, right? He was blocking progress.
Tyron. I don't want to act like I don't like Tyron, but people just relax. In order to be great, you got to play somebody and be able to see what they have. I mean, if you don't get the reps, then you don't always know what's going on. Exactly, Matt Batten. Zimmer might get the best out of Sam. Dave Thompson, I know that's his type of player. He's a big dude. He's a fast dude.
There's a lot of ends that came out of Minnesota that, woo.
Man, on the TV show SWAT, Hondo tells one of the guys, if you want to be a hot dog, go get a job at Pink's. Come on, man. I'm going to get me a Pink's. Let's see here. Jermaine. What's up, Jermaine? Yeah, thanks for being cool tonight, Jermaine. I know you're an Eagle fan. And just real quick, what's going on with the Eagles? Avonte Maddox is being released. They're just cutting dudes left and right. They want to trade Hassan Reddick. Is this a total rebuild or what? Do you know, Phil? I mean, they're trying to get rid of their best pass rusher. I know. I'm just saying. I don't follow them, but it's NFL.
Man. Come on, man. You pointed out how you're willing to dangle. Let's pause. Dangle.
Pause.
Micah Parsons out there. Let's see what he can get. Let's see what he can value.
You got to know your value.
What? Howie will do that. He'll actually go out there and try to figure out a value. You don't know what somebody's going to offer you. You put your house on the market, and all of a sudden, you got a $350,000 house or whatever like that, and then all of a sudden, people are, I'll give you $2 million. You're like, yeah, okay, well, yeah, I'll give it to you. It's kind of one of those things. You don't know what kind of Herschel Walker deal they're going to.
Rhonda's getting worked up a little bit, just a little bit. You said dangle.
Too many times, I think. Honestly, to tell you the truth, let's be real. I'll look back at this and be like, yeah, Phil, you got to get that out of your vocabulary at least for the next year. So yeah, I think they're doing their homework. You look at that defense and what they were doing last year. why would you think that anybody's job is safe? Like, let's be real. Like,
Devil Dog, mental illness is real. I have PTSD, Brad. God bless you. Devil Dog, man, listen. I know that all too well. I have a family of military, so I know what. I don't know if that's what yours is from, but it is what it is.
Yeah, Stephen Jones cooks too. I mean, sometimes he burns it. Sometimes he, puts it in the slot.
Oscar wants to know where you're from.
Where I'm from?
Yes.
Like a nationality thing, or
no? I guess
like I'm from
state.
Florida.
He's from
Florida.
He's from Florida.
South Florida. Let's go with that. South Florida.
Let's see, Richard. Hey, Brad. I don't like COVID. I've had it, I think, 3 times now. Okay, it doesn't sit well with me because I miss work and I don't like laying around. I'm not feeling good. So that would be a no. Brad, I could tell you firsthand, you ain't lying. I have to talk to mental health specialists twice a month. Chuck, you know what's one thing about that? I always say this, you never assume that someone's having a good day. Just because they may... be quiet, or even if they smile, you just can't always assume somebody's having a good day. You know what I'm saying? So I think Cowboys don't help. Yeah. Man, I think Pinks will sell a green hot dog during St. Patrick. Oh, my God. And drink the green water? Ooh, God. Let's see here. Who is the Samoa from Washington? Who is the Samoa from Washington? I don't know, but I know that John Ridgway, I would love for him to come back. I would love for John Ridgway to come back, man. That would be nice. Vinny Hagan says Cooper Beebe is a beast. Is he from Kansas State, Vinny? Is that where he's from? I think he's like a 3rd round guy, 4th round guy. Yeah, man. I heard that from what I gather, Cooper Beebe is a character, too. So not only is he a really good offensive lineman, a guard, but he's a character. So, Hamid, Eagles just freed up $10 more million than cutting Maddox. Yeah, but you got to, that's all well and good, but, you got to do something with it. $75 million, Howie's going to cook. Yeah, we'll see what Howie does. Howie better cook. His job's on the line. So, but all right, next order of business. Phil, the Cowboys met with Michael Gallup. Now, why do you think that is? You are on mute.
Let's be real. He needs to take less money. Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Like he needs to be that. I mean, this is the talk they should have had with Zeke like a while back. But, I like the fact that they're at least trying to have a conversation before they, decide to just get rid of him, plain and simple. I mean, let's be real. I mean, what he's been paid compared to what he's given has not been a big, huge balance there. So, I mean, to me, it has to be taking less money.
Yeah, well, if we cut him in a post-June, and they probably sat him down and told him Dallas could save $9.5 million. They'll still owe him, but basically they'll save $9.5 million this year. So yes, exactly. That's what they told him. You need to take a significant pay cut. Michael Gallup is gone, people. He ain't gone. He would be dumb. His agents would be negligent in letting him take a pay cut. With all this money out there, no.
I would agree. Like he should, if he's smart, like just get the cut. You still get paid some money. And then you still get your next contract because obviously somebody's going to pick him up. It's probably going to be Houston. Let's be real. It's probably going to be Houston.
Yeah. So East Side, get ready for some Michael Gallup.
Or Philly with Kellen Moore.
Yeah. You never know. That's a good one. Philly with Kellen. Speaking of, and I'll get back to the chat. I have you guys locked in, so I will get there. I'm getting behind, but it is what it is. Tony Pollard, he has said he's going to bring his final offer to Dallas and be willing to take a pay cut. He really don't want to go.
So what? He did the opposite of Dez, where Dez, I ain't taking anything, man.
Yeah. He pulled an anti-Dez.
So he went the opposite way. He's like, man, I'm willing to take a discount. That's the only way you're going to get Steven to turn his head.
Yeah, exactly.
The who?
Yeah, exactly.
The her.
But yeah, so he's willing to take a pay cut. Now, I never saw him rebound from the leg injury. So I don't know that I would be on board with that.
With the pay cut and bringing him back?
Yeah, I just want to move on.
Yeah,
Again,
I agree.
I just want to move on. I hope somebody pays him big. We can get a comp pick next year. I want to move on. I agree with the bigger back. Okay, I think we need to get a bigger back. I still think we need to get a bigger back. And then I'm hearing rumors that they're gonna sign a speedier back in free agency, whoever that is, and they're gonna get a big back in the draft. I love me some Trey Benson, but that would have to be a second round pick.
Second, third, maybe. It could be
Maybe, but
second.
I'm loving Trey.
Late. If you're gonna get him late in the
Where
second,
we are, it's always going to be a round before because we're in purgatory. We are, not in the top 15, and we're not at the end. We're right in that purgatory spot where people are going to jump. Teams are going to jump ahead of us thinking we want an offensive tackle. So we're going to get screwed somewhere. So, but there's a lot of tackles. So, and we got time to talk draft. I know I want to do some more mock drafts. I'm sure me and Phil will do our final. So
yeah, I got to do one at least. I haven't even done one. Like I'm doing some studying up and everything, and people that I originally was trying to kind of get an idea for where they're going to do once the combine hit. Oh, that kind of just shifts some stuff around right there.
Yep. Tell you one thing, the combine. It's starting to change, Phil. These players are starting to change, and not for the good. People get carried away with 40 times and all this. The scouts and the teams know, they look at the tape. What the combine is mainly for, Phil, in my opinion, and I want to hear yours, is for the interviews, the sit-downs, and the physicals, right? Isn't that what it's about? So you really get to know MRIs and all that. You get to know the players that way, correct?
Yeah, I mean, you never know what kind of situation that corner may not have been in. Maybe they had him more into this, the slot, and you didn't realize that he could jump so high up into the sidelines or whatever that. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff. Oh, there's a fumble. Instead of running over there, how far can that guy jump to that spot? So it just. There's a lot of things that can factor into bringing those. I just think, people they get caught up really into those numbers, and all of a sudden this wide receiver is better than this wide receiver because he ran a little bit faster, but they don't look at the body of work that they had in college.
Well, I have a shocker for you. I don't know that it's going to happen, but I think more and more by what Caleb Williams is saying and doing, he may not be the number 1 overall pick in the draft.
Saying this crap before. This guy is just ridiculous.
He is out there, man. Yes. I don't know that a Caleb Williams is that good to be saying, I'm not going to do medicals at the combine. That he cannot be following his instructions from his agent. And if he's a dumbass.
I don't think his words are the thing. I think if anything throws a monkey wrench into Chicago possibly not taking him, it's got to be Denver releasing Russell Wilson. And I'm not saying that they're going to pick up Russell Wilson. I'm saying that the one team that everybody had Chicago sending Justin Fields to, Atlanta, that may be, Wilson's destination.
And you got Kirk Cousins out there. Mm-hmm. We got actual guys out on the street ready to go who can come in day one and win games. Cousins.
Why wouldn't you want to sign somebody compared to trading draft pick capital and stuff like that, trying to get somebody that really, I mean, this past year you finally get him some weapons and he showed that he can play quarterback a little bit, and now you're just going to get rid of him. It makes no sense to me. But again, I never saw anything from Caleb Williams' college game to ever think that going. Can I be real? If you're doing, sorry, I'm gonna just one little point left before you go on that.
It's you.
If I'm gonna bet my mortgage on it, am I gonna bet on a USC quarterback coming into the pros and being that guy?
We've seen that
many come in and not be that guy. So.
Exactly. Now, I think it would be a perfect marriage to go number 2 in Washington. He could be reunited with his college coach, Cliff Kingsbury. Maybe but I love me some Jaden Daniels. I think Jaden Daniels should be the number 1 pick. I think he's so dynamic. He's tall, but he's really slender. I don't care. My man is the complete package, if you ask me. None of these all these quarterbacks, Phil, get elevated. You know this. I don't know. I haven't analyzed that much how many are going to get picked, but there's probably only 2 or 3 first-round rated guys. But you know there'll be at least 4 or 5 drafted before the Cowboys even pick, just because of the nature of the position, right?
Yeah, sorry, I'm like reading the comments here.
Yeah,
Talking about
there are
Caleb
some.
Williams.
Yeah, here we go. Hassan Reddick not getting traded. Hamid, why the hell is Howie Catboy? I can't call him Catboy. Howie Roseman even like flirting with that. He was literally your best defensive player. It makes no sense. So don't know. Jermaine, we like to change the team. We haven't had the same. We like Cowboys have had last 8 years. Jermaine, you just lost your best play. Like your best is center, your first ballot Hall of Famer. That's gonna hurt you, my man. Sorry. Let's see here. 75. I already read that. I'm really behind. That was great. 13-year run. Tyron Smith, thanks for your service. It's a tough position to stay healthy. Thank you again. Kid, listen, Kid Cowboy. Nothing but love for Tyron, but that doesn't mean that we have to stay with him like another year. 11-6 with a really bad D. Yeah, and you lost 7 out of 8. And right now, your own media is telling you that you're going to win probably 4 or 5 games because your head coach is a buffoon. Dracula needs to go. But that's your problem, not ours. Hurts is a winner. Well, listen, Jermaine, there's a lot of question marks regarding Jalen Hurts. He's had 2 down seasons out of 3. They're already talking about drafting his replacement if he has another one. Do I think that is? No. I like him too, but I don't think... Yeah, he's got a lot of stuff to overcome.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
He just does. Dak can't win from behind. Jermaine, yeah, I agree.
He can win from behind. The problem is if your defense doesn't allow him to continue to try to win from behind. I mean, he's shown that he has. He has a lot of comeback wins and stuff, but again, it's the playoffs, right? When you're down in the playoffs, that's when it matters the most, and that's where he's proven that he cannot do that yet. Whether he will or not, that's going to be the question, but that's all up to him, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. How far back am I? Damn. I am back. Let's see here. Fast forward, and nothing says the change of season is better than... Oh, here we go. A fresh, hot 9-inch Rosie O'Donnell on a hot... Yeah, you love the word moist, man. You do. You love moist. What was that, Larry David? Moist? Let's see here. I've been sick for a week now. Dude, Jermaine, it's going around here. The whole state is sick. The Washington offensive tackle will be long gone. I don't know that he will, David. What's that?
Troy, something like that.
Yeah. So, but
yeah,
see.
I like him too. I mean, you look at a guy like Mims that dropped. I mean, what's that whole combine injury going to happen? Didn't he get injured in the combine?
Mims, I don't know that Mims got injured. His problem is he only has 8 games.
Some tackle did. I thought it was Mims, but
what's up, Jamison Taylor? Welcome to the show, my man. Shout out to the 55 people in here. I like seeing new names. I like it. Let's see here. Phil, if you see something, go ahead. I'm way behind. I see Gallup Giants or Washington. I could see Gallup going to Washington, like Phil said. I could see him plucking a lot of our players.
Jermaine goes, I think it's mental when it comes to Dak in the playoffs. And I mean, yeah, here's the thing.
You get Gallup east side.
Yeah, here's the thing when I look at with Dak. I mean, you've suffered all these years
Jameson.
Trying to develop a 4th-round draft pick, actually develop him into a quarterback. And honestly, it doesn't matter if he's here. It does not matter if he's somewhere else. The best years are ahead of him. He's definitely, if you can put a team around him, the best years are ahead of him. But its question is whether he'll be here or victories for someone else, really.
Yep. I read a post saying Saquon is going to the Chargers. Don't know how true it is. Hey, I wish him well. I don't want any part of Saquon. I don't. No. I'm sorry, but I don't, man. I don't know. I know he's dynamic. I told you how talented he is. He can't stay healthy. No, thank you. So, Yeah, exactly, Brad. We don't need him. But it's tempting, I guess. Let's see. I'm not sure that cutting Tyron is a good thing, says Coyote. It's very hard to find linemen. I get his injury history, but when he is, he's a top 10.
I mean, you're just not bringing him back.
Yeah, you're not cutting him.
Yeah, I mean, and nothing's closed.
You're going to see how much he's going to get, Phil. He's going to get a 3-year deal because he's only, 32? He's going to get a 3-year deal, probably $45 million. He's going to get big-time money. What's up, Pioneer? Welcome, my man. So Kid Cowboy thinks Williams is going to be great. I don't know. I think he's a...
Jermaine, yeah. I mean, okay, I'm going to jump on Jermaine's thing because obviously he's jumping on some stuff. But Eagles can get any free agent. Exactly. But you got a lot of teams now with a lot of money. You got Washington. Washington has those high draft picks. Washington has a lot more money than us.
What's up, Philly D?
And you as well, put together, honestly, to tell you the truth. So right now, I think that's the team in our division that can really do some damage and flip their team from what, Brian called it. Brian called it and said this, but they're in a prime position to really flip that team. But what they do at that number 2 position is going to say a whole hell of a lot.
Jameson Taylor, I've been taking one of my medicines wrong. That's why I've been having seizures. Sorry to hear that, Jameson. I was on medicine. I was in a bad car accident.
Okay, I'm going to go on Hamid. Okay, Hamid.
Get him, light him up.
Prescott never had weapons, 9 years. Did I say that? I said we were developing him, getting him to his spot. Did I say anything about his line? Did I say anything about his running backs? Did I say anything about the defense? No. I was talking about Dak Prescott and the body of work that he's had. Yeah, whether you give him anything. There's been years he had nobody, and we had to go out and get Amari Cooper because he had nobody. There's been some times where he's had a line. He hasn't had that offensive line more recently, but he's making better decisions at times. Where he wasn't doing that in the past. I mean, I think it's just relying also on your wide receivers. I mean, you got Noah Brown was our number 2 wide receiver last year, and Brandon Cooks was our number 2 this year. So I think that's a big difference.
Yeah, listen, everybody's
But your defense, when it comes down to it, is defense. Sorry.
Yeah, no, don't apologize, man. I like to talk as you're talking. That's nice and rude of me. Drake May is getting Josh Allen comparisons. Dave Thompson, here's the problem I have with Drake May. And I was big on the Caleb Williams thing at first. I was, but the more I see and hear, the less I like. But, hey, I mean, listen, I didn't like Eli Manning coming out either, doing what he did, and he worked out. So we'll see. But Drake May, when you look at the tape, he will have unbelievable game. And then the next game, he's staring down receivers and he looks horrible. And then he'll and then have another great game and then stare down a receiver, not know how to read a defense and look horrible. I get it, but you would think he would be a little bit further along. I kind of like Michael Penix. I like I said, I like the LSU quarterback. These guys are winners. I even like Bo Nix. I even like him. J.J. McCarthy. Everybody's getting enamored with him.
He's a Patriot. That's who that is.
Well, my problem with J.J. McCarthy. Well, Drake May's going to the Patriots, I think. J.J. McCarthy. He's got a strong arm, but his accuracy is horrendous. It's just not good. But again, it is what it is. Thomas, Dracula. He's exactly right. Dracula. Russell might go to the Raiders. Russell's I don't know. Maybe.
Bad. That wouldn't be a terrible decision, I guess, from either side.
I think it's mental with Dak in the playoffs. Nah, I don't think it has anything to do with that, man. Dak didn't have a problem last year going into Tampa, putting up a perfect QB rating, throwing four touchdown passes and running in 2 more. I mean, he was unbelievable.
Tired.
But they were tired. Yeah.
They were tired.
Yeah. Dak Prescott have stuff to overcome. He does. I will give you that. He does. Definitely give you that. 10 years, 2 playoff wins. Cowboys.
Yeah, he's not going to.
He hasn't been in the league 10 years. Where do you get 10 years at?
He's
8
not.
Years.
He's not our weakest part in our team. He's not the best quarterback we've ever had. But let me give you, he's not the worst one we've ever had too. I mean, Brian mentions it, but I remember those Quincy Carter years. The
Dallas Cowboys.
even trying Ryan Leaf. I mean, Like,
Yeah,
there were some really, really
yeah.
bad ones.
Oh
so.
we got we have all kinds of we got what do you call Clint Sterner, Quincy Carter, Ryan Leaf, an old Drew Bledsoe, Anthony Wright. It goes on and on. The Chad Hutchinson. Come on. Linda Connors, unlike the Joneses, Howie allows the players to go out to market and get the number. Well, in this market, Linda, I would be a little concerned because way too many teams have a lot of money. So that's an issue. Dirty Sanchez, what's up? Welcome. It's been a long time. What's up, Game Time? It's been a minute since I listened to anyone's podcast. I was listening in on Mark Holmes the other day when we're in there. Well, you're a mod, man. You need to stop by more. You know what I mean? You need to show your face. I mean, I count on you. Now, all kidding aside, thanks for coming back, man. I appreciate you. I'm with you on that. Marcus, I try and keep it 100, man. Sometimes people agree with me, sometimes they're not. Let's see, which guy is Brian? I'm Brian, the goofy guy. All right, let me see here. Phil, Leighton Vander Esch. They're waiting on him. What do you think is going to happen there? Yeah, I believe so.
I mean,
I believe so.
I don't know what he'd be waiting for.
We will save money under the cap, by the way. Probably like almost $3 million if he retires. So
I just think it's smart. I think it's smart for him. He's already paid some. He's got at least to put his name in there in the history books itself. What are you playing for? Unless this team is an all-star team where you're going to come in maybe later in the season to fill a role if something's going on, I can get that. But no, man, it's not worth it, man. Just walk away. Go play with your kids. As you get older or whatever like that. Just have that ability.
Yeah, man, you can't mess around.
Happens,
Yeah, you can't mess around. Yeah, and you will save some money by doing that. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it, buddy. You will save money. And he needs to do what's best for his family. He's made money where he'll never have to work a day in his life. He can go hunting and do what he wants to do. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Brian, let's see. I wanted to say a couple things. Oh, yeah. He was talking about Randall Cunningham. I forgot about Randall. You're right. We had Randall. We had Bernie Kosar, which actually came. That's right. He saved our bacon the year we won the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. And Rodney Peete, who I actually liked Rodney Peete. So, that's not a bad thing. I don't think. Hamid Romo was way better than Prescott. Cowboys fans won't admit it. I liked Romo, but Romo made way more mistakes than. But he could make the great play. But Romo has hurt us many times.
Yeah.
Thomas,
and I didn't really,
exactly.
I didn't have that confidence behind him. I at least have a little bit of confidence with Dak. I mean, he hasn't given you a lot of body to work with in the sense of his history and what he can do. But I mean, I love his leadership. So I think that's the part where that's a championship mentality. There's nothing on this organization right now other than people that have won in other places that says that, this is the championship mentality. This is why this should be. If they want to go, they still got to figure it out. I mean, Stephen Jones, I think, man, that one to me is my sadness upon this franchise. Is that we're going forward, and we're going forward with this douche. And and that's the part where I get a little bit sad as a Cowboy fan, just because he just needs to relinquish it, man. He just needs to allow somebody else to take control over that, and I'm hoping once somebody that passes, and I don't want to say anything negative in that sense, but maybe those roles will change. Maybe he'll be happy with just being a face. And not really and talking the bull crap. But
it's funny because I played a clip of Jerry when he bought the team yesterday yesterday on my lunchtime chat while I was home. And his first press conference, we have to win. We will win. Winning's the name of the game. And that was a young, hungry Jerry Jones. I want that Jerry Jones back. And Stephen Jones doesn't know what it is to be hungry. He doesn't know what it is to be desperate. Sorry, but Stephen Jones was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. Stephen Jones wants to be relevant. doesn't necessarily have to be the best. This is just my opinion. Does he want to win? Yeah, he wants to win as long as the money's flowing in, the profit margins are staying the same, and that's where Stephen Jones comes from. He doesn't want to win. We have to win, winning at all costs. That was his father. This is not the same guy. It's just not. It's sad. But that's the situation that we're in. Jameson Taylor, thanks for subscribing. I'll talk to you later. But yes, Wildcat Jerry, Vinny Hagen, those days are over. But real quick, Phil, Michael Kendricks, he played with Mike Zimmer. He was a linebacker with the Vikings. He was with the Chargers last year. His better days are behind him, but what would you think about bringing in Michael Kendricks?
Is he better than what we have?
Yes.
Yeah. Then yes.
Yeah.
Then yes.
Yep.
Then yes.
Yep.
I agree. As much as I could sit him going, he's not the same linebacker as he was 2 years ago. Let's be real. He wasn't great last year. 2 years ago has been his drop off, but is he better than what we have? Yes.
Yeah.
Can he stop a run if he, out of nowhere? Yes, he can.
I mean, he knows the defense, so he'll be able to come in and help, the transition. He's a guy, to me, he's like a Bobby Wagner type. Bobby Wagner's beyond his days, but if you go out and get me a Shahir out of Tennessee and then get me a Kendricks, who's going to be a 1-year deal, fairly low money, then then I'm good.
I'd be even for Bobby.
Either one.
You didn't even see a drop off last year. I mean, again, is he the same Bobby? No, let's not put that. But is he better than what we have? Yes.
Yes, we didn't have anybody. I mean, at the end of the year, and we talked about it ad nauseum, but we didn't have much. Keon Coleman is CD's cousin. I bet they would be the best receiver duo in a long time. Dirty Sanchez. Keon Coleman very well may be there because of his 40 time. And that's why I was telling Phil. Phil knows. He lives in the state. He knows all about Keon Coleman.
I am a big Keon Coleman
but
fan.
He ran a 4.6 and he's going to drop.
Don't bother me.
Drop right to me at 24.
He's a possession receiver, a guy that's like you're going to go to. I mean, I don't care how fast he got to the first down. I'm going to throw it to him. He's going to come up with the play. And there were some times where he did drop some big plays. For example, in the championship type stuff where you're trying to get to that playoff before obviously they lose their quarterback. But even with the second, third string quarterbacks, those guys were the main guys that they were going for. And they were coming up with some very big plays. He was getting open. Separation.
What's up, Ron Venters? How are you, my man? Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it.
I get excited about Jalen Tolbert. I mean, I liked a little bit of the flashes that he gave us last year. If he can put in the same type of offseason as he did last year with Dak, oh, man, he's going to be an amazing Michael Gallup replacement.
Yeah, and this is why it's important for Catboy to get off his you-know-what and start making some room and go out and address some glaring needs at linebacker, defensive tackle. I see that in the chat. You know my thing. We need a defensive tackle, at least one linebacker, probably two.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be, like I said,
a lineman.
We're not talking the top tier guys, so we should have no problem doing that. Bring me a Kendricks, bring me a Shahir, or a Devin White, that's fine. Or like Phil says, a Bobby Wagner. Go get me one of them big defensive tackles. That way it lightens up what we can take with listen, and if we end up, me and Phil will be at the draft, let Mark. If we end up with an offensive tackle, we're both going to do a high five and be happy. But if Keon Coleman is sitting there at 24, he very well may be the highest rated guy on the board. You have to take him and then reevaluate, and you maybe end up with a Cooper Beebe, or there's a lot of guys you could get in this draft. Let's not get caught up at names, but if a Keon Coleman is there at 24, come on, man. Stop it.
Depends on who else is there.
It all depends. You're right, and we'll be there for it, so it'll be fun to see. Fly Park says, I don't think Kendricks was still in the league, was good when he was with the Eagles. Fly Parks, yeah, he was with the Chargers. He's he's not what he was with the Eagles, especially. He's not what he was with Minnesota, but he's still better than what we have. And sometimes you need that veteran presence. That's all we're asking is a veteran presence body. You know, that's what we're looking for. I'm a tackle guy. Hankins, Osa, not enough. Yeah, Hankins is a free
Grover
agent.
Stewart is my guy that I would, if I had to pick somebody up from free agency.
Yeah, well, Dallas just re-signed Carl Davis.
Man,
I know. I don't understand why, but it's probably
I
like
did not
camp
see
body.
anything. Yeah, I would.
He
Probably
looked
agree
bad.
on that one sense. He bad. Yeah, that was very bad.
Well, he looked ass.
You know, I hope.
Shout out to the 55 people in here.
I hope Greg Ellis can do some wonders with him. Let's just say.
Let's get them likes up, people. Come on. At the count of 3, everybody hit the like button who hasn't already hit it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Ding, ding, ding. Hit them likes, please. I appreciate you. Getting back to Tiana. What's up?
At the end of April. I want to say it was like the 24th, 25th, something like that.
Fly Parks, thanks, man. You're the man. I know you're an Eagle fan, but you know you're welcome. I got a lot of love for you. Let's see here.
I wouldn't trade Mozzie now, Coyote. It's like you gotta. I think this is the time if you're going to have
Clint
anything.
Longley.
We were saying don't expect much from him. In 2 or 3 years, you'll see stuff. I want him to gain his weight back in this offseason, man. I really do want him to gain that weight back.
Mozzie better be eating like them double Big Macs. That's what he needs to be pounding. Eat like 2 or 3 of those a day. You'll be just fine. It may not help your arteries, but make sure you do some cardio. Clemente, Roma was a playmaker, not a game manager.
I would say clog those arteries and the hole. Hell yeah.
All righty then. Good call. Dave Thompson, Frankie Louvu, linebacker. I like him a lot.
I would be all about Patrick Queen, but that's not going to happen.
Patrick Queen's going to have an Eagle. He's going to be an Eagle, or he's going to go back to a Ravens. He ain't going off on Fly Parks. Patrick Queen's going to be on 95. It's just whether it's going to be in Baltimore or if it's going to be in Philly. That's a fact. Keon Coleman is the type of wide receiver that goes to get the ball. Exactly, a Dirty Sanchez. He snatches the ball
and we don't
out of
have
nowhere.
That. Let's be real. Like, I love CeeDee Lamb's game, but he is not the go up and get it guy. He's so many times he's shown that if it doesn't fall into his hands, he's not getting it. Very often there's been times where he's thrown it and he's done some acrobatic lean and stuff like that to catch it and stuff like that. I mean, that was a big thing in his early career. But I that's the one thing I've always harped about his game, that when the deep pass is there and he's just kind of running his stride, he doesn't go back to the ball to go get it and put himself up in the air. If it doesn't come down in his hands, again, he's not doing that.
Lady Libra, the draft is April 25th, I believe. So 25th, 26th, 27th, we will be there. Linda says, Coyote, the day attacked Dak and Jalen. It goes back to the Wonderlic scores back in the day when Michael Vick started playing. Exactly. It is what it is. I think they're trying to do away with the Wonderlic. I think that's what they're trying to do. I think so. Mr. Cowboy, what's up? What's going on? I'm well behind the chat. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that, Marcus. I mean, that is definitely, he's an amazing receiver, and there was that switch that he hit. All of a sudden, he became that number one after all those drops in the one game. The next game came out. I think it might have been against Minnesota and stuff like that. But he definitely started popping. But it's like anybody. I mean, what's your weakness to your game? Everybody has some kind of weakness.
Yeah. Should we trade Mozzie? He's going to take at least 2 or 3 more years. No, I don't think that's the case. You have to ride with him this year. I actually think he's going to be better because we're not going to expect much, and he's going to be better. I just think that's what's going to happen. Thanks, Rhonda. I appreciate it. Patrick Queen, $16 million to $20 million a year. Yeah, Linda, he ain't going to be a Cowboy. So, Thomas Garrett, Game Time. Are the Joneses smoking crack? What the hell are they doing signing Davis? It was a minor deal, but I don't know what they saw. It was probably a camp body. He showed me less than nothing. Yeah, well, Tayan is saying I wonder how much power Zimmer will have in the draft room. You know how they work, Tayana, right, Phil? They always allow the defensive coordinator to make a pick or two, don't they?
Yeah.
What's up, Twiz?
Let's be real. I know there's things that we need. We got offensive line. I mean, are you sitting there? Do we need a tight end? Do we need a wide receiver? Do we need a running back? Maybe later in the draft or whatever like that. But there's nothing offensively other than the offensive line that I'm sitting there going, we need that. The defense, man, the defense gave up almost 40 points or whatever. I mean, you don't count that interception, that pick six going back the other way with Dak. But they gave up that points. I mean, as much as I point this out, but you can have an amazing quarterback, but if Kansas City's defense doesn't stop San Francisco and keep Patrick Mahomes in the game, guess what? They don't make that victory. And if vice versa, if the defense for the 49ers doesn't keep Detroit out of the game, and that whole thing, they don't come back and win it. So, I mean, this defense never gave this offense a chance, whether you want to call scheme, whether you want to call personnel, whether you want anything. As much as this defense was elite going into the season, it was our downfall by the end.
Yep, I totally agree with you, Ben. We were doing it with mirrors. It was elite, but it was hand in hand with our offense scoring a lot of points. Once we didn't do that, we got exposed. But and I'm not trying to be mean here, but I think we're in a better situation than the Eagles. Eagles need help everywhere. They have talent, but sometimes, they have to redo their whole secondary. Tayana says a bigger physical wide receiver alongside CD will be a game changer. Sprinkle more Cooks, Tolbert, see what we get. Tayana, that's why I'm saying if we were to get a guy like a Keon Coleman, would be unbelievable. You guys don't know.
What's the teammate? He has a teammate that's a big receiver. Travis something like that.
Yeah, I think it's Wilson.
Yeah, he's a big receiver, and I mean that would be another one. If all of a sudden Keon Coleman is gone and something later on, you're trying to get that guy, that would be a big guy too.
Yeah, I'm just saying, this is why free agency is so important. You don't have to go out and get the best names, but you need to fill like slots. Like if you had to play a game, you have enough. You have linebackers, you have defensive tackles, you have running backs. I think they need those three positions. I don't think they need to go out and get a corner. I'm hearing rumblings that they want to bring Jordan Lewis back. We talked about it last week or 2 weeks ago. I'm fine with that. If that's what they say, then that's fine. We got
He wasn't the weakest part of our secondary.
He was not the weakest link. He wasn't. So, it is what it is. Game time. We got cap space, though. How he got this. Fly, I know. I always say
that's the one positive that he does do well. Is that part of it.
Listen. So, Philly D, who knows how it's going to play out? What's that, Phil?
No, nothing. My head is just bothering the shit out of me.
Everybody wants to talk about my prediction about Washington. Listen. You're asking me today with $120 million in cap space without seeing anything, without seeing the draft, free agency, draft, OTAs, training camp, nothing. I'm going to say Washington's going to win a division. That don't mean that I'm not rooting for Cowboys, That doesn't mean I'm not going to hope that they win a division. You definitely can change your team quickly. Vinny, that's how it is. Today, Dallas is better, but it'll change by May. I don't know. We'll see, Philly.
Good.
The only thing I'm looking forward to next year is Zimmer's reaction to another dumb 15-yard penalty from Sam Williams. Tay, don't say that. Don't say that. He would cut him right there on the spot. We all know we need the question. We'll be able to get him. The NFL teams conspire to block Dallas from acquiring the players we want. I don't know. Mr. Cowboy, F the Commanders. Yeah, I'm not rooting for Commanders. Phil, you're not live. Was about to like the video.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, we're trying to do the thing where we do Wednesdays on Brian's, and then we go on Saturday.
Yeah, we'll do Saturday with all the bells and whistles. All right, man. Listen, we've been going for an hour and 15 minutes, and I can't believe that we've been doing it. Because I worked late, went to the gym.
What happens? When old men talk? We can just go rambling on for hours.
Twiz Wednesday is game time, and Sunday I believe is prime time. It's Wednesday and Saturday, but listen, we can change up. I'll probably do my Wednesday thing because it fits good. You know, it's a middle of the week hump day live stream. But Phil we'll work around Phil's schedule. If Phil wants to do a Sunday as opposed to a Saturday, that's fine. Maybe we'll slip in a Friday, but we'll figure it out. But yeah, man, I just want to thank everybody for coming by. We had a lively show. We were looking close to 70 at one point. So the channel's growing, and I appreciate it. Make sure I have Phil's channel up in the corner.
I appreciate it.
Anybody that's not already, everybody in blue should already be, subscribed to Primetime. But if not, make sure you are. He's got the crap ton of videos that you could check out, and we're going to be bringing more starting Saturday. So please, please, please sub up to him. Rhonda has a channel. She put it in the comments multiple times. Make sure you sub up to Rhonda. We need to support our own. And listen, Oscar, you're too kind, my man. I really appreciate you, Oscar. You're always so nice when you talk to me. Phil, is there anything you'd like to say as we end the show? I know I talk a lot. I'm used to talking a lot because I'm doing a lot of videos. So it's kind of a give and take, talk and then learn how to shut up. So I'm going to shut up for a minute and let you take the floor.
Okay, so I am going to talk to the NFC East in general, the division. We fight. We at one point we were the NFC least. I know as a sense of contenders in the playoffs. Whether it was two of our teams, 3 teams last year, possibly could have been 4. Those 2 teams are definitely up there to get some good draft picks. So to me, we're really in a position to where all 4 of these teams going into next year, if it can be spent right, if these guys can make the right decisions. All 4 of them are going to be very formidable, and it's going to be a hell of an upcoming season. And that's before free agency. That's before any of this draft stuff that's happening, before camp, before switching trades. Anything has happened, you can already tell.
Thomas Garrett's got a channel. Sorry, Thomas.
Hey, Thomas. Yeah, no. And you could. So as an NFC East person, you should be very happy with the future of your team. Because, we got money to spend. Whether you don't have money to spend, you have maybe a better roster put together, and you got some questions that you have to do. But, again, NFC East, we're not the NFC least. We're definitely the beast now.
There he is. Well, listen, as much as we've been ragging on the Cowboys, I know people want positive, and I'm telling you, I feel like we're going to do some things. Don't ask me what. Don't ask me who. I think we're going to do some things in free agency. We're gearing up for the draft. Phil, I rented the vehicle. I know you're flying in, but I rented the vehicle. So
I can talk to you more about details about that. And Mark, I need the info.
I sent you the.
You sent me the place. I just
like the money wise. Yeah, I know. We need to figure that out. I have an idea, but listen. How we vision, we shall see, Twiz. Everybody, I appreciate you. And, just remember, I will be, I'm working tomorrow, so you'll have my morning video on the way to work. I know Vinny loves my comedic sense. And then we'll do the 2 o'clock lunchtime chat. And don't forget, Saturday night, I believe, 8 o'clock, Primetime Phil. We were going to hit it, and we're going to hit it hard. Pause. All right, everybody. Take care. Late.
Peace, guys.